That's the big backstage secret of this show. Fame and fortune are not the reason those 5,000 people attended this event in New Orleans. For most, it's about the valued memories that each treasure has kept alive.
I brought my grandfather's walking sticks that he used to use when he walked across the fields to court my grandmother. They're altogether worth maybe $250, but priceless, because without this piece of history, where would we be?
People who are coming here tomorrow are coming with the two most precious things in their home other than their family members very often.
It's a mid-century throne.
It is indeed, or a Pee Wee Herman chair. It always reminds me of Pee Wee Herman.
It's a Pee Wee.
I feel like it should start talking to me, right?
If they start talking
Right,
to you,
yeah,
let us know.
right.
And usually those two objects are not extremely valuable. Statistically, they just aren't. Most of us don't own things like that.
The monetary value is interesting, and that's certainly part of the story, but actually so many things, the family story is so good, and the love or the attraction to the object that the owner has, that sometimes the value is just so secondary.
Like the family story of New Orleans resident Emily Cosper.
Well, these were my grandmother's chairs, and I learned that they were made by Adrienne Pearsall in the early 60s, which I knew because her house was a mid-century modern house. So all of the furniture, every piece of furniture was like this, and when she passed away, I inherited them.
Did you learn anything about your grandmother with these?
Oh, my grandmother's crazy. She was a real eccentric in town, and when we first brought them home, my grandmother was fastidious and keeping her house clean, and we never sat on them, and we brought all this furniture home. First second I had them in the house, cat climbed up the back. There were never any animals in her house. The chair went ka-thunk, and all I could think was, oh, my grandma, she would kill me. She would kill me if she knew the dog was sitting in those chairs.
And Grandma might not be happy about what happened next.
You want to sit in one?
Oh. Okay. I'm not sure my all-access pass included sitting on appraised furniture, but you have to try.
Aren't they great? It's a good place to have a cocktail.
I'm the king of the cocktails over here.
A martini, right?
So many of the people who come into the show, they don't care what something is worth. They just want to share the history with you.
It's really quite lovely.
I should be wearing a dickie and a sweater now, right?
Totally. Well, anyway, no matter what.
We should be listening to some jazz.
Absolutely, we do.
Sometimes you think, oh, they just want to know what it's worth, and people say, don't tell me about the value. Just tell me what it is, tell me when it was made, how it was made if you know, and maybe tell me if the story that my family has handed down for the past, 100 years is accurate.
The fact is we are seeing people who, most of them, know that they have something good, they just don't know how good.
And we all know who that is.
Right.
Mr. Nixon!
Richard Nixon, you're right. Tricky Dicky. But on the other hand, sometimes people come in with these wonderful family stories, but always what I have to do is I have to look at the object and see if the object fits the story. And sometimes it doesn't. If this story goes back to 1867 when so-and-so got married, and this factory didn't start until 1895, then they did not get it in 1867, and I have to be honest with that.
They're very sensitive to breaking the news, especially when somebody believes it's and been told that it's of something of extreme value, and it's not.
I want them to walk away with history and stories and families and all that. I don't really like them to walk away with just the value.
For many, the worth of the item comes from its intrinsic value.
We bought our amazing stained glass burger tree. They said it was worth about $500 or $600, but to us, it's priceless.
And we have Spaceport USA punch-out book, not punched out. It's worth about $20.
And the real question is, how do you have a punch-out book that no kid ever got a hold of?
That is a good question. I'm not sure, Mom.
And I don't know how maybe it got taken away from my brother. For a punishment maybe, because and then my dad
He was that kind of kid?
Oh yeah. He was bad.
And sometimes the item's story is less about the item and more about how it got to Antiques Roadshow. Where do you find a foghorn?
Well, my buddy is a ex-commercial diver like myself. I don't know where he got this from. We were over there drinking beer one day, and
it was all dusty.
Yeah, we told him we were going to go to this, and he's like, "You want to take the horn?" I'm like, yeah.
So this decision to come here was beer-driven.
Well, it was beer-driven to bring this.
It is Louisiana, by the way. P.S.
That is insane.
What would you rather have, a undiscovered treasure or an unbelievable personal relationship to that object?
Oh.
Both? Can I have an
You can't have both. You need to pick. Would you rather have a undiscovered treasure or an unbelievable story?
Oh, that's a really great question. Undiscovered treasure, unbelievable story.
You can only have one.
I can only have one? That's like Sophie's choice. That's really hard.
Definitely the story. Definitely the story is what drives the show. The objects tell the stories, so it's really an object-driven show, I believe.
If I could have wishes come true, I'd want to find a missing masterpiece that has been missing for centuries, and it walked into Roadshow.
With a family story behind it.
Yeah, where the heck did they get that, and where have they been hiding that missing masterpiece all these years?
Sometimes you get both of those at the same time. That's the dream appraisal, to get both of those at the same time.
Will a dream appraisal appear in the Crescent City? The only way to know is to watch. And America does love to watch. It's the viewers, like you, that have made Antiques Roadshow such a success.
I think the reason the show, for its longevity and popularity, is we appeal to different people for different reasons. You also have people who just want to watch their neighbors have great thrills or great disappointments. And you will not watch a season of Roadshow and not learn when the Civil War happened. So I think people appreciate the smartness, appreciate that they're learning something. They don't notice they're learning something because they're excited about what they're seeing. And I think that all combines up to about 8.5 million viewers a week.
I think that people can relate to Antiques Roadshow because it's really about our collective material history.
This is our show, America. This is our show.
My goodness, I love this show.